Motivations are unbelievably interesting, at least according to Dan Pink. Hi there, my name is Justin, and today I'm going to be explaining the three key constructs of the expectancy theory of motivation, including valence, the value or importance one places on a particular reward, expectancy, the belief that effort leads to performance, and instrumentality, the belief that performance is related to rewards. As you probably already noticed, I will be using the help of an animated version of Dan Pink's TED Talk on the puzzle of motivation to help me with my explanation and to answer some questions on the case study of Eastern equipment. People behave in a rational way, or at least one may seem to behave rationally depending on the situation and variables present. When a person places a value on a particular reward, it is because they perceive that this reward will meet or satisfy a want or need. Since each person may perceive the value of a reward differently, it is important that a manager you investigate and recognize which rewards motivate which employees. As Dan Pink explained in his TED Talk, rewards will only work in some situations, and that they may actually be detrimental to motivation if used within the incorrect situation or with the incorrect employees. Jack McDonald and his partner, owners of Eastern Equipment, have failed to do just this, both investigate or recognize the valences of their employees. Jack is motivated by money and material things, and in turn assumed that his employees must have the same valences as himself because they work for his company. Jake devised an incentive plan to reward his hard-working employees. This plan would result in selected workers being awarded trips to popular tourist destinations or gift cards or various electronics such as an iPad. A survey conducted by a consultant hired by Jake indicated that most employees would enjoy these types of incentives for motivation. Unfortunately, this wasn't the case. After implementation, he spoke with 3 of his senior workers, in which he found out that they were actually quite dissatisfied with the incentives. Although these 3 employees were making money because of the company's need to fulfill additional government contracts, they lacked the additional personnel and resources needed to have the time off they wanted, and they felt that working overtime gave them little time to enjoy the money they were making with their families. This created cognitive dissonance. Jack did not take into consideration who was answering the survey and what his employees' own valences were. This has led to his senior employees' expectancy and instrumentality lessening and their overall dissatisfaction with the situation. If the thoughts of the small group of workers represented the thoughts of all the workers, and Jake is unable to get a better idea of who is actually happy with these incentivized motivation, this problem could quickly spread and get out of hand, lowering morale and productivity. Jack has acted more on his own egocentric motivations and not that of morale maturity, the measure of a person's cognitive moral development. I think that Jake had great intentions, but unfortunately, and pardon my language, the road to hell is paved with good intentions. This is to say that Jake's intentions were to motivate his employees, but in actuality, he demotivated some of his most senior and possibly longest-serving employees. An advice I would have for Jake in terms of improving his workers' satisfaction would be to start over. Although time-consuming, he should create an open-ended survey for each employee and find out what their valences are, and base the incentives that the company is willing and able to provide on them. Some may value additional time off over an iPad or a trip for their entire family and not just for themselves. Once this information is compiled, then he can create a more simplistic policy on the incentive program itself and leave the incentives flexible and to be discussed when an employee has been deemed to earn one. This will make the knowledge transfer of the policy a lot more simplistic for employees to absorb and understand. This will ensure that the effort and performance of an individual is based on attaining a reward that is specific to them and the task. This would enhance an employee's expectancy and instrumentality greatly. In closing, The expectancy theory of motivation is only one of many theories that can help to explain behaviors of individuals, but by only assuming their behavior is rational. This theory predicts job satisfaction accurately, but the complexity of calculating an individual's behavior makes it difficult to test the full model. And the measures of instrumentality, valence, and expectancy have only weak validity. Measuring the expectancy constructs is time consuming, and the values for each construct can change over time for an individual. Hi, this is Justin. Thanks so much for watching my video on the expectancy theory of motivation. I hope you enjoyed the TED Talk podcast that was playing in the back, and I hope that you learned a little bit more about what Jake should have done in the Eastern Equipment case study. Thanks again, and have a great day.